So I tell you what, before we get into this, because this is very cool and very interesting, tell me what TonePrint means.
TonePrint basically means, very short, that you are able to load different alternative tunings of the pedal into it using a little USB stick on the back here. So basically, because these pedals are so simple, TC, we as sound designers have basically made a lot of choices as to how the pedal sounds, but there's a ton of different other ways it could sound. So let's say you're not happy with the way, you know, the core sound of the chorus or the core sound of the vibrato is. There's actually a way to change that. And what we've done is that we've asked some of the greatest guitar players in the world to basically tune the pedals the way they would basically create their dream vibrato pedal, their dream chorus pedal, their dream delay pedal.
Yeah.
And those tunings we call tone prints. Because it's not just a snapshot, it's not a preset of what they like. They can change everything about how the pedal reacts. So, you know, they can change the way the depth pot meter works.
Right.
So it's basically designing a pedal from scratch, really. Yeah. And you can download those settings and put them into your own pedal.
So it's kind of like where maybe on other brands of pedal, you would download a patch that says it's a Steve Vai patch or something like that. So name like a cool guitar player.
Cool. So we have Bumblefoot from Guns N' Roses. We have Doug Aldrich from Whitesnake. John Petrucci, Dream Theater, Joe Perry from Aerosmith.
So we take John Petrucci, I guess he's like, you know, super famous. So what you're saying is rather than downloading a preset where essentially that's just his chorus sound, what it actually does is it downloads how John Petrucci would want the knobs on his chorus pedal to react and everything. So it's kind of like downloading his chorus pedal rather than a patch of a chorus sound.
It's like a signature pedal, only you can change them as many times as you want.
So when these are out the box, this is just like a regular TC kind of sound.
Exactly. So all the pedals ship with a TonePrint setting done by TC already installed. So if we look at it, we basically have 3 options on this pedal. So you have the regular chorus sound, we have a tri-chorus, and those are tuned by TC, and then we have the TonePrint setting, and that's where you can load in the additional tuning.
Superb.
And the pedal comes with a TC tuned TonePrint.
And that's free, is it, to use?
Totally free. You can do it as many times as you want, and the list of artists is just expanding all the time. So we have around 100 TonePrints now, but this list just keeps on expanding. We keep talking to new artists to add to this thing.
Awesome. Am I famous enough to have my own TonePrint?
You are definitely famous enough to have your own TonePrint.
Check it out. I probably won't, but we'll see. Okay, one of the other cool kind of pedals, cool features on all the TonePrint pedals that Tor was showing me was, as well as stereo outs, which I guess is kind of fairly common on a lot of, you know, delay pedals and chorus pedals, they've got stereo in as well. Now, I guess I've never really thought about this, but I've seen loads of pedals, you know, where they have a mono in but a stereo out. So, of course, the only pedal that you can actually have running in stereo is the last one in your chain.
Exactly.
And what Tor was saying now, of course, you could effectively have all 4 of these kind of stereo output pedals all running in stereo, all connected up in stereo, so that everything remains stereo. Have I said stereo enough? Do you think it's stereo? Say it in stereo. Stereo. So everything could stay in stereo all the way through.
Exactly. And the nice thing, though, is that, you know, there's still a lot of guitar players that don't use stereo. So what we do is that we actually have a sensor on the stereo in and output. So if you don't use the stereo, we change the way the algorithms work so that you get the absolute best sound out of the mono pedal as well. Awesome. So the delays, for example, if you do the ping pong stuff and you don't have 2 amps, you just use 1, then we'll just put everything over in the one mono amp.
That's very, very cool and clever. So, right, the first pedal on the board here, so let's get playing, is called the Shaker. And this is a pedal that I traditionally find unbelievably hard to use vibrato pedals, because I naturally want to do vibrato on every note, and then I find that I'm sort of cancelling it. So you can check out a close-up of this, but we've got the traditional speed and depth and sort of tone buttons that you would get, or knobs that you'd get on a regular vibrato pedal. It's got a cool feature here called rise time. So this is actually emulating, when I switch the pedal on, how fast does it take the vibrato to get to the speed that I've set it to. So emulating like a Leslie style speaker. I've got 3 modes, as Tor was just saying. I've got my regular vibrato mode. I've got a TonePrint mode, so I can get an artist-based vibrato sound. And the latch mode, which I really like as well. So latch actually means the vibrato effect is only on as I'm holding the pedal down. So we'll just get some basic sounds for you. Oh, and by the way, the reverb that you're hearing on this setting is from the TC Hall of Fame pedal, which is actually we're using on every setting. So it's no reverb on the amplifier.
nice to add a little bit of shimmer to these kind of little figures and stuff like that.
Cool. Right, next pedal. Next pedal is the Corona, which is one of my favourite beers if you would like to send me a lot.
It has a little bit of a lime look to it, right?
Yeah, cool. Can't try and wodge it in the top of the bottle. So this is the chorus, and again it has 3 basic dip switch modes. We've got the chorus mode, regular chorus mode, a tri-chorus mode, and the TonePrint mode for your artist presets. One of the knobs on here you'll find on most chorus pedals: speed, depth, and tone. But Tor was telling me that the effects level knob on here isn't so common on chorus pedals, and it's designed to just try to make the chorus pedal a bit more subtle. So, and again, when we were mucking around earlier, I really liked that sort of, it's not an over-the-top chorus. So again, it's got stereo in, stereo out, true bypass, very cool. Let's hear this.
So it's a nice swirly kind of sound.
Yeah, it's good. It reminds me a little bit. I mean, that's the chorus, but the old chorus pedal is probably one of TC's most famous pedals, isn't it? What was that one? Just called chorus?
It's called the long name is Stereo Chorus Flanger and Pitch something rather.
Catchy.
Yeah. We always call it the SCF pedal.
Okay.
Stereo Chorus Flanger.
And you'd have to presumably try and eBay that, find them on eBay now, would you?
Yeah, we still make them, actually. We still make them, but it's a very old pedal with some very old ancient components, so it's quite expensive to make.
Yeah. But this is definitely that type of sound.
We actually did something. I've been talking a little bit to Eric Johnson, amazing guitar player, and he's using the SCF pedal.
Yeah.
So he kind of allows us to kind of check out his settings. So basically, you set it to the chorus mode, and you put in. If you Google his pedal board, you'll notice that his settings are sort of similar to this. The SCF doesn't have a tone knob, so you just crank that.
Yeah.
So that will kind of give you. So again, a quite subtle chorus kind of thing, but it just adds a little bit of dimension to my playing.
Cool. So that's the Corona. The next one on the board is called a Vortex. Have we got a Vortex?
I do. It's right here.
Cool.
There you go.
Cool, funky colour purple pedal here. Vortex is the flanger. Again, it's got the 4 knobs on here: speed, depth, feedback, and delay time. So a more traditional, I guess, set of knobs on here. The 3 modes are a regular flanger pedal, the TonePrint mode, how we've talked about before, and a tape mode. I've never heard of tape flanger before.
Tape flanger, you probably heard it on albums before, I guess, because that's the old school, the original way of doing flanging. So what they do in the 60s is they take 2 tape reels and record the same sound onto both, and then they'll speed up one of them.
Right. So get the flutter.
Yeah, to get that kind of flutter. So, classic tracks like Access Polar Love by Hendrix.
Yeah.
There's this little drum roll at the end where the drums totally disappear. That's what happens when you do this tape thing, because the 2 signals can cross each other in time. One can be before the other, or vice versa. And on a regular flanger, you can't do that because the wet signal is basically generated by the dry signal, so it'll always be behind that. But we have some clever guys at TC who kind of came up with a way of doing that, so you can get those old school psychedelic type flanging sounds.
Let's see if we can have a bit of that now then.
Let's try it out.
We'll start in the regular flanger mode. So I guess there you go.
Yeah. So in with this type of setting, everything at 12 o'clock, it's almost like a chorus kind of thing, and a lot of classic guitar riffs that you'd think was chorus is actually done by flangers, really. Yeah, you get the idea anyway.
So if we boost up the depth and the speed, that'll be the more traditional, well, not more the sort of psychedelic flanger sort of sound.
Yeah, you get that type of sound. And
like that.
Yeah, exactly, and I'll probably add a bit of distortion, but that's really where the flanger kind of shines. So you get that.
It's got that more throaty kind of. Yeah, I like
that kind of jet thing going. Whoosh.
Yeah. So that was still in the regular flanger mode.
Exactly.
So if I pop this over to tape mode now, well, how do you want the settings?
It actually looks kind of fine now.
Okay.
So this is the type of tape flanging where the signal basically cancels out altogether.
Yeah.
I also added a little bit of or some distortion to get my Hendrix thing going.
Yeah. The amount that it cancels.
It's basically, it will cancel out altogether in this particular setting, but if I do this, I just tweak the delay time over here, then it won't cancel out. Then it'll do this kind of weird warm thing. And it's kind of hard to explain, but it's a warm fuzzy feeling you get. Psychedelic kind of sound. So
I think there'll be a lot of guys that have probably heard that Hendrix album a million times and thought, how does he do that? Is it something to do with the what's the other pedal he's super famous for using?
The fuzz stuff or the Univibe?
It's not a Univibe. No, it's flanger.
It's really a studio trickery thing. He couldn't ever do that in a live situation because there's no pedal for that.
But there is now.
There is now.
Cool. So okay, that's the flanger Vortex. Very, very cool.